Every once in a while, a new type of blaster is discovered. A new breed that nobody had thought existed, or was just so painfully mediocre when it was released that nobody took a second look at it. But now, unearthed many years later, one has to ask the question, is it actually worth calling useful or rare or anything? And yeah, it's one of the strongest air tanks I've ever seen before. Well, hello there. I'm Walcom S7, and today is Tag Back, the show where we take a look at a blaster from the past, see what exactly it can offer us today in the present. And this time, it's something entirely different. I usually say that at the end of my videos, and this time I actually mean it, because this is a blaster that I'm just gonna say you've never seen before. And if you have, you're probably lying, or you've seen one of the other two examples that exist on the internet. Before I even get too started with this thing, I do once again have to thank Blake from the 307 Nerf Foam Flingers for letting me have this, because he's insane. This is one of like 3 to be known to exist. I'm sure there are others out there. After all, the blaster itself doesn't really have any markings or anything on it, so even if you do happen to have one, you probably have no clue what it is or thought it was anything whatsoever. But we know of 3 that exist, and I happen to have one, and as far as we know, the only one with the damn box. That is crazy. Blake happens to find a lot of crazy things, and this might be his craziest find yet. I do have a blaster that is technically rarer than this one, which you will see next time, but for the moment, let's just pretend that there's only 3 of these that we even know exist. Doesn't even look like anything special. It's called the Super Air Master, maybe 100, but the super rocket shoots up to 100 feet. And that's no joke. It says high-speed air pressure rocket, and this thing destroys rockets. It's killed 2 Demolisher rockets, and I haven't even pumped it up to full. It is insane. For what this blaster is, what it does is entirely too cool. And I would assume that it was actually a major safety problem back when it released, even though it came out in space year 1993, because it does have like one of those little ball bearing trigger things in it, but of course those are very easy to bypass by just holding your arm stick, pressing down the button slightly, and then pointing it at your little brother and shooting him and absolutely just destroying him. Because this thing is no joke. Now, is it the most powerful air blaster? That's debatable, but it is one of the most powerful that I've ever gotten my hands on, and it's just glorious. So yes, not only do I have one of the very rare Super Air Master 100s, but I also have the original ammo that goes with it and the box. Again, thanks to Blake. This thing just looks weird. It doesn't look like a blaster. I'm not going to say what it looks like, but you can use your little imaginations. But it is really cool. It does have like what appears to be a Super Soaker like kind of air tank on it, and this one don't flex. This one's solid and awesome. Doesn't unthread or screw off or anything like that. It is thick plastic that will hold lots of pressure. And then, I don't know what kind of system this thing uses to dump that air pressure. It is just a little button right here. But if I were to fire one of these rockets right here, I would probably never get it back. I'm gonna do everything I can not to fling it up in the air, but trust me, it shoots them really freaking high. We are, however, going to finally shoot, because I have not shot one of these rockets yet, and if it breaks one of them, I'm going to be a little upset, but this is the rocket that's supposed to go with it. It's actually a pretty loose fit on here. You will notice that the size of the shaft is absolutely perfect for even the standard Laramie rockets and stuff like that. This is a Laramie blaster, but it's not a Nerf blaster or anything. This is probably one of the things that got Nerf Kenner back in the day saying, hey, maybe Laramie should make some blasters too, or whatever that frickin' agreement was that made like 4 different people actually create Nerf-style blasters. But it's a rather loose fit, probably so it doesn't blow itself up. And you do apparently have to, like, pump this thing like 40 times. Really? Oh no. So we're gonna take one of the rockets it comes with, slide it on there. It's a pretty loose fit, probably so it doesn't, you know, destroy. I'm gonna pump it up like 20, 30 times until it starts escaping air out the front of the pump. It does have an air pressure, like an overpressure release valve, which was probably smart. This is fun. Only imagine what plugging the pump on this would do. That might be enough. I'm a little scared. Now to fire this thing, not straight up in the air, because it's just going to wind up on the roof of the shop, and that would be bad. We're going to slowly press that in, just to lock the little bar bearing straight, like from it moving around. We're going to point it. We're going to try to shoot it up this wall. It actually hurt my ear. This thing is nuts. It's insanely powerful. It dumps all of its air almost immediately, and I've never seen another mechanism that works quite the same as this one. I'm not sure how it works. Again, just a little push button, but it's pretty insane. I could take this thing apart, and I could modify it, I could do all sorts of things to it. But let's be frank. This is one of 3 that we've known to exist right now. We probably don't want to mess with it. I have a few rare blasters. Now. This may be the rarest blaster I own. After all, we have seen at least 3 signings of the Ultimate Clip Blast. We've seen multiple complete Supermax 5000s. I've seen, personally, multiple Radical Air Warriors, the Forces, and the Attacks. That doesn't mean those things are common. No, they're still all exceptionally rare. But we've only seen like 3 of these. And it's good. That's the problem. Now, I'm assuming once I do this kind of video, because it's the kind of thing that happens, people will find these, or they already know they have them, they'll throw them up like, oh hey, that's that thing that Walcom talked about, and that's usually how things go. If you have one of these things, what is it worth? I have no clue. I assume it wouldn't be worth all that much, but they are apparently exceptionally rare. They were sold at a store at some point. I mean, after all, my box does have a clearance sticker on it from what looks to be Kmart, so it was sold again at some point, but 1993 it's been around for a while, and how many of these even survived? I mean, look at it. It doesn't look like anything super crazy. It looks like... So, the ultimate question is, what is it good for? Well, obviously, air tank. Obviously, dumps air pressure exceptionally fast. All right, show this really quick. Really quickly. That actually hurts my ear. It just immediately just dumps all the air. Super fast. It's really powerful. It may be the best rocket launcher of its type in the entire hobby. The only thing I think that even comes close to this is the Bazooka. Because the Bazooka's air tank is not only like a large, thick-walled, Titan-sized tank, but the entire front of the air tank actually pops open to release air pressure, which makes it insane. Like, while Titan tanks and XBZs and UMBs and freaking Drain Blasters and stuff are all really, really good, what limits them for the most part is usually the air release. If you have too little of it too slowly, you're not going to get a whole lot done. That's where things like this constantly surprise me, and make it one of the craziest blasters I've ever gotten my hands on. If you wanted to run one of these things in a war, to just shoot rockets at people, really, really easily done. I fear for their safety, but it is a thing you can do. After all, this will fit like Demolisher rockets and stuff on it, so that's crazy and that's scary, and that is the Super Air Master. Let me know, especially if you've seen more than these, down in that comment section below, because this is one I don't think is going to pop up all that often. In fact, while it is really hard to verify this, because I think I probably have the only box we know to exist, this is the only one on YouTube. So, congratulations, Laramie, Super Air Master 100, whatever you're called. You're now immortalized on the internet in front of a fat kid for probably a couple hundred people to see. Maybe a couple thousand if I'm lucky. I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one. And of course, I want to thank Blake once again for letting me have this thing. It's gonna go on my wall, because now I have to build a wall for all the crazy stuff that I've been sent and given, and a rare that I just want to save and preserve forever. And tune in next time, where we're going to take a look at another rare air-powered blaster.
You gotta up,